Welcome to Random Thoughts. Ray Sean Blyden here. I'll get straight into the show today. Would you rather get into a verbal argument that may or may not lead to a complete breakup, or would you rather the silent treatment for years? That is the question I posed, and I guess I'll give you my long answer. For me, without a doubt, I would rather the verbal argument, even if it leads to a breakup, because, well, let's talk about the silent treatment. Let's talk about what exactly the silent treatment is. The silent treatment doesn't mean that they're not talking to you and then that's it. That's all it means. They're not talking to you, but they're still doing all the other little things that they used to do. That is not what the silent treatment is. If the silent treatment was just, okay, they're giving you the silent treatment, but you're still doing all the other things that you used to do, well then, that wouldn't be so bad. But the silent treatment entails all these things. I'm going to call this my brain salad. So in the brain salad, the silent treatment brings silent. Obviously, they don't speak to you. And I'm right now talking about someone that lives with you or you see every day. So they don't speak to you. They won't even look at you and give you the time of day. The things that you used to do together is completely gone and made up with excuses as to you're just too busy. Let's just stop at that right there. When someone tells you that they're too busy, come on, we all know exactly what that means. There's no question about it. Okay, maybe you're too busy on a Friday, on a Saturday, on a Sunday, but then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're always busy. So it's like your lifestyle went from being an average Joe Smo who works a 9 to 5, and you hang out with friends later on, and then after that you do your gaming stuff or whatever, from going to that and to not being verbally talkative. That makes no sense. Everything you used to do is completely gone. And the silent treatment hurts like if you had opened up my hand and left a big nasty wound here raw, and you just poured sea salt on there and stabbed me with a million toothpicks over and over and over, that would feel less hurtful than the silent treatment, because the silent treatment gets to the core within here. And I know from speaking, and who knows if this isn't some type of payback, because I used to be that kind of person who would give the silent treatment, and the silent treatment is very effective. You can do so much damage with the silent treatment. It hurts so deeply, and I didn't enjoy doing that, but I needed the person to know that I was in pain when I could have just verbalized and get it over with faster, whether or not I'd verbalize it and we'd be forgiven and move on, or if it was so bad I needed time away permanently or temporarily. Whatever the solution is, verbalizing it is way less painful than the silent treatment, because I've gone months with the silent treatment. I was very maniacal in that way. I went months, and it literally, you can see it tearing the person apart, and it starts from the inside, and from the inside everything materializes and affects the outside. And so it could drive you to drink, basically. If you were an addict, it could drive you right back to being an addict. And it only works with people that you care about, because if it's someone that you don't really care about and have that close relationship with, it's like they'll be, so what? So that I'm obviously it's should be going without saying that I'm talking about people that you love and you care about. This is what I mean. I don't mean just someone that you met off the street or you work with, but you don't have that close relationship. But I mean people you have close relationship with. I should have mentioned that from the beginning, but I assumed. You know what happened when you assumed that you knew what I meant. But anyway, I lost my train of thought here. The silent treatment is torturous. It's what it is. Because like I said, the argument is like, boom, it's in your face there, and you can both choose to do what you need to do. Like, let's say the argument is my fault because I did something that was not appropriate maybe, or they just didn't like what I had said, whatever. Just put something in your mind, whatever it is. And so I know, based on how everything has changed from up until that point, that it has to be that. And so they've been completely honest up until that point, where if I asked something, they would be straight out. But I'm not obviously saying that they're lying. I'm not saying they're lying, but you can't just be that busy when you made time before because of the friendship. So when you say that you're too busy, and it just comes off as like you just don't care. Basically, there's no other way of putting it. It's like you don't care, and someone not caring that you thought did care or do care but don't care, or silent treatment and not showing it. When that happens, it is one of the worst feelings that you can put someone through. It really is torture, psychological torture, emotional torture. Put the label on there. That's what it is. There's no other way of putting it. It's really hurtful, and it just can drive you crazy, because all I want to do is just get the argument over with, find out what do they want. Do they want, what do they want, space? Or even tell me that. But if you don't even tell me that you want space, although you are telling me you want space by saying you're too busy, that is TBH, a way of telling me you need some space. So maybe it's telling me, okay, you need some space, but you still want to know what's going on, and so this is why you see my activities. But me not knowing what's going on with you is the most torturing thing, and it may sound over dramatic, but I'm not being over dramatic. It's one of the worst feelings when people that you love and care about, they completely shut you out, and you feel like a piece of excrement. You really do. I don't know how else to put it. I guess this could be, a testimony is usually something good, so I don't know what the opposite of a testimony is, rather than, I don't know what to call this, but I relapsed. I relapsed. And how I relapsed, it's starting with my answer to the question I posed earlier. What would you rather, a verbal argument, or would you rather the silent treatment? So I relapsed. When I say I relapsed, I had stopped drinking for a very long time, and I relapsed because of the silent treatment. The silent treatment, it chipped away at me and chipped away at me and chipped away at me, and the longer the silent treatment, the more torturous it is. And usually I can hold out but not when it's someone that I really care about. I can't hold out when the silent treatment is there. And things dramatically changes. I cannot hold out. I can't be play chicken, if you will. I used to do that back in the day. I would play chicken. I was like, okay, silent treatment for you, silent treatment for me. I would play chicken to see who breaks first. Well, I don't want to play chicken. I don't want. I've been broken already. I've been leaving bits and pieces. Like when I took that picture of a broken phone and I put it on my Instagram and it said hashtag broken. That was the point where I was saying, I was throwing in the white flag, saying I surrender. I have been broken. And I'm still broken because it's very, very difficult, because the silent treatments that I spoke of before is when you have contact and you see this person on a daily basis. What happens if you don't see them on a daily basis, but instead you pretty much spoke on a daily basis on the phone and or text or Snapchat or whatever other forms of communication out there? You did that, and gaming and virtual reality. So you went from that to a complete halt after I did something that definitely did not sit well with you. Went from that to a complete halt. And so when I try to get an explanation, or and that's not really a good way. When I try to talk to you about the changes, that's a better way of putting it, you completely just snapped, in a sense, like you didn't want to be bothered, and you just like, yeah, I've been busy. When that was said, it felt like a knife was being drilled, because I knew what that meant. When people say, yeah, I've been busy, your head usually does like this. You bow your head down. You bow your head down like, oh boy, I'm in trouble. Oh boy, is this over? Oh boy, what's going to happen here? That's exactly at that moment that when I saw that, and I would generally try to engage more, because I just don't want the tension and the stress and the regret and all this other sorrow and all this stuff. I just didn't want that, and so generally I would try to fix it immediately, but I want to honor what they want for a change and not all about myself, and simply say, okay, I'm going to chill. And they didn't really respond back saying, all right, cool. They just kind of just left it like that. So it's hard. It's hard because I've always, if you've been a fan of my music, you've almost 100% of the songs is about some type of feeling, whether it's anger, sorrow, regrets, love. You've heard and read the lyrics, so you know that this is something that would come hardcore. Like I had a dream, I think it would have been 2 nights ago. I can't remember. I'm getting old. Give me a break. No, it wasn't that long. It could have been. It was Saturday night into Sunday. So last night, and I'm not a dream interpreter, so I have no idea what the dream meant. But we were in a place where we were going. Was I don't know if there's still plans to go there, but we're going to go to a big city and have some fun and do some things. But I don't know. Hence the silent treatment. I'm also not going to ask, because I just don't think I think we gotta get past some other things before that, because the thing, whatever is bothering them is clearly, I don't know if it's temporarily or if they're, I don't know. I really don't know. This is one time I wish I was a mind reader. Or maybe I don't want to be a mind reader. But no, seriously, it's, so I don't know. And it weighs heavily. It weighs heavily on me because it's very difficult for me to form friendships and relationships because I've been burned so much in the past. You can see my skin color. I've been burned so much in the past that I'm black. I was white before, I could hear my friend Gio. See, I knew it. Or my friend Luz. See, I told you you were Oreo. I told you. I'm just kidding. Relax. I'm just lightening it up because it's a heavy topic. I'm trying to lighten the mood here. But when you've been to all that, and you seal up your heart and you don't want to let anyone in, and you just don't. So when you let someone in at a level where you've never let anyone else in, where you pretty much, you're like an open book. They know everything from your inner workings pretty much. So when someone like that gives you the silent treatment, you bet your ass it hurts like crazy, because you don't know, like I said, if they even care or not, or are they hurting that much that I just don't know. And then I'm reading too much into their media, the things they post. I'm like, okay, what does this mean? What does that mean? And I don't know what it means. I am not a mind reader. Oh, I went off the track. Wasn't I talking about the dream that I had? Okay, I don't know how far I got into the dream, but I had a dream that we were in this big city, that we were planning a trip, and like I said, that I don't know if that is or not. At this point, I'm just gonna wait and see, and if they still want to go, I'll know, because we'll have to plan ahead. If they don't want to go, that time of year will come and pass, and then I will know. But it's like my friend, my one of my other good friends, Ryan. He has a huge heart, and you can't do that with everyone. It's just not a good idea. It really isn't. You can't. There's only certain people that's good for it. You can't go and buy tickets for someone to go somewhere with you, and then, especially if it's someone that's not reliable, and then you're stuck with this ticket. It's not a good thing. Like he knows, because we're good friends, and he knows I'm good for it. I do it for him, and he do it for me. And this is what I thought I had again, but at a higher level. And I don't like using the best friend label, but if TBH, that's the level it was at. That's why, again, it completely broken, because that's what it felt like. And so what I've done is forgivable, unforgivable. I mean, what is unforgivable in his eyes? Is unforgivable, is his version of unforgivable like my unforgivable? Because let's talk a little bit about my unforgivable. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the dream. I'll finish the dream. But my version of unforgivable is complete. Picture you lose electricity at night and it's complete pitch black darkness. Well, that's my way of cut off, meaning I don't want to know anything that's going on in your life. I don't want you to know anything that's going on in my life. And so I pretty much will not be on your social media platforms. Certainly will not be calling or texting. Your number would probably be gone because I would cut you off completely. And for me, that's being cut off. Now, I don't know it's cut off for him, meaning it's just he won't engage with me. And if I engage with him, he will engage with me. Well, I know he will because he has engaged with me when I reach out. But I just, as they say, I'm treading lightly because I don't want to swerve in to a car wreck, a car accident. I don't want to push. I don't want to rush either. And so, basically before, I never felt that I was walking on eggshells with him. I could just be completely out there and free and carefree and everything. But now I'm literally feeling like I'm walking on eggshells. That's a bad feeling. So this silent treatment has really cut like a knife deeply a wound that no surgeon can heal. It's bad because, again, it is at the best friend status, and I know it is because I usually don't rant, if you will, unless it's a best friend that's involved with someone that I love and care about. This is when I just go on. This reminds me of the past. A lot of random thoughts were about things like this because that's the thing that hurts me the most. I don't like to keep it bottled up anymore. I can't keep it bottled up. Because when I keep it bottled up, there's an explosion within. I drank a half a bottle of cognac there. But back to the dream. So we are in the city that we were planning on going to. And we're happy like we used to be. And he seems different. He's like in a suit and tie. It's like I'm not sure if he's a billionaire in this dream or millionaire or what he is, but he just seems like at a higher level. So I don't know if this was in the future or what it was. Well, it would have to be in the future if we were in that city. But no, he just looked very businesslike, and we're going around doing all kinds of stuff. And all of a sudden, we end up in a Nissan dealer, and he bought the Nissan GTR. And without even thinking, he allowed me to drive it first. Well, not without even thinking, without even caring that he drives his new car first. He didn't care. And that's the way how we've always been, if I needed something, he'd send it to me and vice versa. But so when you lose all of that, you think that don't really hurt deeply, because I don't know if I have or not, because the silent treatment, and that's why it hurts so damn much inside of me. It feels bad. At one point, I felt so hollow, and on the inside, I felt like so deep, like a bulldozer dug inside and hollowed out all of my inside and just left me with this feeling of emptiness and sadness and regret. But back to the dream here. I keep swerving off. And he lets me drive it. And I know exactly what city we're in, because I remember that long strip I used to drive when I lived out there. And so I'm flying, we're having fun. And then all of a sudden, it's like the dream switches from one gear to another. We're still in the same city, but it's almost like that movie Jump. Does it just Jump when you go from place to place and you jump in, time hopping or whatever? So anyway, we went from that, and we're in front of there's a whole bunch of cops on the side, and I don't know how to explain it other than we both teleported out of the car that's not a self-driving car, and the car just keeps on going and go right past all of everything. And so we're like chasing after this car now, because now we have a runaway car, and all this time I'm not seeing his face, but all of the pain that he's feeling, and the anger, and the regret, and the sorrow, all these things. Well, I don't know that he's feeling regret. Well, regret obviously that he let me take that car, and anger, yeah. But it was insane. We even called patrol officers to see if there's a runaway car, because there was a major highway next to where we were, but this car just completely disappeared. And then another person that I've never met, I can only assume who it is, because I kind of saw him once on FaceTime, so I don't know. That's who I thought it was, and he was kind of consoling him for his loss, for lack of a better word, of his car, and I could just feel it. I woke up like 3:44 in the morning, I think. Yeah, I think I woke up about that time, and all of that pain and sorrow and regret and anger and whatever other negative emotion you could mix in there, I literally woke up and I felt it all in here. And it's still in here, very tight in here. So yes, I relapsed. And I have a private Snapchat, and I also have a public one, just like I have a private phone and a regular one. So when I say that this bothers, and I let them in, because I've never let anyone in to that privacy in a long time. So when you let someone in like that and you get the silent treatment, it hurts so bad. I don't know how else to describe it. And yes, I know I can pick the phone up, but I know I could be stressing myself out. It could be easy as a phone call or a text. Can you talk? It could be that easy. But I really am trying to respect and give them the space, because if you tell me that you're too busy to respond to something that I wanted you to, it tells me that you weren't happy about that, and up till this point you were so, you wouldn't hold back, basically. So I wish you had just had it out with me. Let me know something, but this, oh my Lord, I can't stress how much pain that this is causing. It's causing so much pain. Literally, these type of things bring a grown man to tears. If you see my private Snapchat, you would know that it certainly did that. And I only heard from one of my friends, but the silent treatment one, I have not. So, tells me that I don't know. I don't know what to do. It's just rough. I really do try hard to be the best friend that I can be. And perhaps I was. It's just this one thing I did. And maybe this one thing is just too much. It'd be one thing if you just said, I need some time to think about things, which that's bad too. If someone said I need time to think about things, it's over finite. Almost as bad as I've been busy. That could be temporary or more temporary, depends on how long the busyness lasts. So I don't really know how long it's been. That's the other thing with this. All the days run together, because like I've said, I felt like I've known this person forever. So all the days run together when there's no communication. The silent treatment, it hurts so bad. I don't know how else to put. I don't want to break down on camera like I used to in the past. That's not. I've already broken down privately. I'm not going to do it publicly anymore. I'm sure the enemies out there, they want to see me break and crack, so I'm sure they're in his camp right now. Says, break him down, break, break, break. Do I deserve it? The jury's out on that. I would say no. I would say that talking is definitely the way to go, as far as that. Even if you said the worst thing that you can possibly say to me, I would at least know. Or maybe you just don't know, and I just need to just back off and give you the time. But it hurts and bothers that I don't know, other than these random posts of different things on your storyline there. I don't know exactly what's going on. Unlike me, I'm very, very vocal. I can't not express myself. That's what I've always done with my music. I've always expressed myself. And, inner thoughts, sometimes, yeah, they should remain inside. But when you're at a high, best friends are so much at a higher level than a good friend even. And even though I didn't label it as being you be my best friend, you are, or you still are on my side. I don't know on your side. On my side, you still are, which is why it hurts so much. The same as when it's been 6 years, and I'm still I miss my best friend Kendra. I do. I miss him a lot, and I don't just take best friend status lightly. And when I get the silent treatment, it's bothersome. I do hope that Kendra and I get to hang out again, and things may never be the same like they were, because it's very difficult to go back to being as close as you used to be than when you've spent so much time apart and you try to come back. Now, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's very rare, and this is very rare that you go through a time with a best friend, and the more time that passes, the less likely things will go back to the way they used to be. And that is sort of what I wanted to avoid, because I know that can happen, but in the same sense, I want to give them their time and space, and so I don't try to be demanding, for lack of a better word, and trying to repair the relationship. I've had best friends in the past growing up like that, and that just doesn't work. Stephen Harvey from Birmingham, England. Sorry to be putting your name out there like that, but we were best friends, and it was great. He was a martial art expert, and it started out that way. I would go down to his house, and he would try to teach me a couple of moves, and then it grew into a friendship where we'd play video games. I'll get back to video games in a second. Play video games together, and so the friendship grew, and we got into some verbal arguments, and I just didn't want anything to do with them anymore, and so I did the silent treatment, and he didn't want to let it go. He was literally committed to our friendship, because he didn't live that close to me. He had to walk up the hill to get to me, and I wouldn't let him in. In fact, I had a boom box with a microphone where I used to record my vocals. I remember yelling in the mic, "Leave me alone!" I remember when we did become friends again, and things got back to normal. He would make fun of that. He was like, "Yeah, you were on the mic saying, 'Leave me alone, no." But That's one of the rare cases that we did get back to being close like we used to. But the more time that passes, I guess it depends on the level of bond, honestly. Because if the level of bond was that high, you should be able to pick up the pieces and move back to where you used to be. And so I feel that with Kendrum that he's one of those cases where we can start back from where we used to be. But I don't know on this end. I know with me, there's no question that not that much time has passed, and I'm in panic mode because I don't I didn't want to get a best friend again, but you by default have become my best friend, and so losing that again is a pain that I don't want to go through, which is why I was driven back to alcohol, at least temporarily. And I know that's called being a problem drinker, and you shouldn't drink your problems away. You can't drink your problems away. I know this, and this is kind of why I stopped. But the pain is so immensely painful that it hurts. Because, like I said, a best friend is at a level of where if I win $1,000,000, a best friend could easily, don't even have to ask, half is theirs without question. That's how close I am to a best friend. A best friend is someone that I would, if that's the only way of communication and entertainment is to go and get a new gaming system with virtual reality, then I'm going to do it. Even if it was worth playing a few times and now we don't play at all, and it hurts. I don't know how else to put it. The longer I stay here, I don't want to get teary-eyed on here. I don't, but it hurts really badly because I've said before, your opinion matters. Most people, if I don't have that level of love and care and trust in you, your opinion means diddly squat. But when I have a level of trust and trust and honesty and openness with you, when I have that level and that bond of communication, and you don't like something that I did, well, it's going to affect me first, obviously, emotionally, psychologically, and then all that manifests into the physical being, which is very, very hard to hide. It really is. So I don't know. I don't know how you feel. It's basically what it comes down to. I really don't. And I wish I did. Even if it's not good for me, at least I'll be able to grieve and but the not knowing, it's so torturing. It really is. It really is torture. Just to put into to context, I've never written this many songs and this much albums in a short space of time that's banging ever. That's because of influence from my best friend. I'm still going to call him my best friend. And this is probably the first time, if he even sees this, is he'll hear me calling him my best friend, because he is. He is. That's why it's so bothersome. Because when a good friend does this to me, yes, I'm going to go through some of the things here, but I'm not going to go back to drinking, and that's why a best friend is so dangerous. Back in the day, I did a song, I remember, well, several songs. I did a lot of songs about best friends because best friends are the top of the level that's so high where everyone else is below that because the feelings are enhanced 1,000 times. And so I mean you've heard this before, so I don't really need to repeat this. And I'm getting internal here. This is inside baseball, as they say. So you, the audience, won't know what I'm talking about, but someone else may know what I'm talking about. But I hate when I lose my train of thought here. But I wrote so many songs on that. So many of my songs are about best friends. And so, like I did a song, Do My Best Friends Love Me? And then I talked about the bad things about them or the stuff that we went through. And I did a song, what's the other? Your best friend or is your worst enemy. And that song basically meant that your best friends, they know every detail because you open up to them. And if the relationship goes south, well, then if they become a really bad enemy because they know everything of your inner workings. They know everything about you. So that, and there's so many songs like Ryan, and I'm not talking about my current friend Ryan, but Ryan, aka Turtle. This is what this current friendship reminds me of because Turtle, he was never local. So you definitely can have best friend that lives miles or states away from you. I've done it before, and our friendship didn't explode because of the long distance because we did everything like we spoke on the phone all the time. We didn't really game, but that's a plus gaming. But we talked on the phone, and I'm not sure. I don't think we did Snapchat. It could have been Instagram. I'm not sure. No, this was way back. So this was we were MySpacing. So imagine how far back that was. And there was no Instagram back then. So we did that. I don't even think Twitter was there. But so we always did that, and we would always, meet up. Like he was in Florida because he was in the armed forces, and I remember that story. I drove 27 hours. That's only best friends I go beyond what I would for anyone else. Only for a best friend I would drive 27 hours straight. I don't even know how I made it there alive, honestly. That's dangerous. But 27 hours straight for a best friend, I would do anything. That's why it's not crazy that I would give them half of the money that I would win. Not saying that I won anything. I want everyone coming out the woodwork. Oh, your best friend, bro. I'm your best friend. Yeah, I'm your best friend, bro. I'm your best friend. You are? No. I'm trying to make light of certain things because the pain is so deep. So with Turtle, I'm gonna call him Turtle. I don't want to call him Ryan because I don't want Ryan. There's too many Ryans. There's like 3 Ryans. I'll just call him Turtle. The thing about, he drank a lot like I used to, and I don't mind being a best friend, and you're calling me up, you're drunk, you're bearing your heart and soul to me. That's what that's what a friend do anyway, but definitely a best friend is gonna be there through that time. But then it turned out that you only called, you went from calling to having a conversation, how was your day? We talking about our days and stuff like that. It went from that to just calling. I was your therapist, for lack of a better word. And I was like, this is just not good. And then we would get into a lot of arguments, and they would hurt a lot. And so he thought it would be good for me to to make the trip and spend a week down there on my vacation, which is what I did when I drove that 27 hours. But you can't, if you don't talk and mend the bad feeling, the bad blood, you can't just go past it. Like today or tomorrow, if he just called me up and just completely ignored everything that happened from the past there, and we not settle it and talk it out, then it's just gonna lead to, it's not a good thing, because this was what happened with Turtle. When I got down to Florida, which I loved it down there because everyone recognized me. Everyone wanted to pay for me when I went to the bar. The bartenders. He took me to a club I won't even name. He was always he was something. A club where I did not know what it meant. We're walking up there, and he just got this turtle smile on his face. I could see it, still see it, because I have a visual mind, so I can remember things. I'm smiling because I could literally see that smile on his face. I'm like, "What are you up to, Turtle? Where are you bringing me?" I just see the look on his face, like, "Why is he bringing me?" And I saw a sign that says "Clothes Optional." So I'm really puzzled. So they look at my ID. I step in, and everyone, from the old and wrinkled to the young and fat and skinny, everyone is naked. I'm like, what is this? I couldn't believe. So this is why he was smiling at me. He's bringing me to this. I looked at him. I said, "Turtle, I hope you know that I am not getting naked in here. Especially don't want my best friend to see me naked." No. So I didn't get naked, obviously. Nope, that wasn't going to happen. And at the time when I was down there, he was having arguments, and big ones, with his girlfriend. And so I would be there for all that, and it would be taken out on me. And so we would verbally get into fights. It got to the point where I don't even know where I am, but I just put my shoes on and just started walking around in the neighborhood, and just kept walking and walking, to the point where he came out on a search party looking for me, and he begged me to come back in. I did, and it was just bad. It was a horrible vacation, because I saw a side of him that I've never seen before, and so that kind of killed the relationship. And I put relationship / friendship, because to have a best friend friendship, you have a good relationship too. So they're married to each other. You can't just have a friendship without a relationship. It's a form of relationship, but at a best friend high relationship, it's very like a knit tight bond. And so I'm not here to blow up his spot and talk about all the other stuff that's private. I'm gonna keep that private. But I still never know why you went in there. And we were best friends. You'd think you'd trust me and tell me, unless it was something so bad and horrific that you didn't want me to know about it. In which case, it still had the same effect, because I just don't know why you couldn't tell me. And then you had other things going on. Like I said, this isn't about Turtle, so I'm not gonna get into that. But I'm just going through best friend status relationships, because this is where the level I'm at right now. And then we had, what I don't want to talk about. Basically, you just don't. It's a lack of betrayal when a best friend tells you everything. So if you're going to be betrayal and screenshot everything they're saying to you, that's a betrayal. But I still miss you a lot. Besides that, and I'm not saying I'm perfect either. I made some same mistakes as I have today. I just gotta understand with a best friend. I have to still understand that I have thoughts that I have to keep to myself, because even though they're a best friend, I don't have to tell them every single detail. And that's the problem. I feel so close to a best friend that I tell them everything. And so maybe if this best friend relationship is repaired, maybe I shouldn't talk about every single detail in my head, because if I have to go through this again, I'm not gonna live very long. It's that stressful on the heart. It really is. You have no idea when you go from, because you can feel the the bond. I can't use a different word. You can feel it. The bond, when you bond with someone and you click, you can feel that. There's no denying it. There's no denying it when others can clearly see that and say you two are gonna miss each other. That he knows how to push my buttons. And so when you go through something as a silent treatment, by the way, the dream ended. I woke up. I was feeling so much pain and sorrow that I just woke up. But when you're tight like someone with that, then it hurts so bad. I don't know what else to say, man. I I don't know. An apology, is that gonna even help? Because clearly he's seen my sorrow and regret. He sees my private stuff. He knows. So clearly he's seen that I'm not blowing off what I've done. I'm feeling so much regret and sorrow about it, but I'm not getting any feedback. I don't know how badly, what you think of it. I really don't know what else to say here. I really don't. As I sit here to you, not as Ray Dog, but as Ray Sean Blyden, I say to you, can you tell me one way or another? Even though you're busy, make some time, even if it's take 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 hour, whatever it takes to get to where we need to, whether or not it's resolvable, repairable. I need to know something, or maybe, or yeah, I'm not. I can't. I I can't, man. I can't do this. Oh, I'm getting so weak right now. I could feel it. My anxiety is my heart rate and anxiety. I can't. I can't. It'd be great if you do, and if not, I don't know.